Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju has spoken about the fight over Protem Speaker and revealed that he has met all the leaders and everyone agrees that Protem Speaker has never been an issue in the history of the Indian Parliament. And the appointment of Protem Speaker is basically to administer oath to the newly elected members and help in the election of the new Speaker. The statement comes amid the reports that opposition leaders are going to boycott the Protem Speaker panel. Let's in fact listen into what he said.
Leaders, just now I met DMK Parliamentary Party leader Baalu ji. Everybody agrees that Protem Speaker has never been an issue in the history of Indian Parliament. And the appointment of Protem Speaker is a job basically which is already assigned to give oath to the newly elected members and in facilitating the election of the new Speaker. That's all. It is not a post to transact business or any other.
All right. So, of course, there you heard it, viewers. Meanwhile, joining us at this point of time is my colleague Anand Singh. Anand, we've, of course, heard what Union Minister Kiran Rijiju has had to say. He said that this has never been an issue in the history of the Indian Parliament. If you could take our viewers through the statements that he's made. All right, I think we've lost our connection over there, but viewers, of course, now there's a row over the Protem Speaker with, of course, DK, I beg your pardon, K. Suresh there insinuating that he's an 8-time MP, and of course, now we've heard what Union Minister Kiran Rijiju had to say. Meanwhile, Congress leader Manik Sarkar has also spoken about this. Take a listen.
Parties have unitedly fought the election. India Alliance has got 240. BJP government, which was having 300, has reduced to a minority government. Now it's a 240. And with the alliance partners, they have formed a government. And the attitude of the government is still like a arrogant government only. There is no consultation. There is no conversation. They are superseded at Dalit MP, who is 8-term MP. And they had made an MP from their party. Mr. Suresh, who has been an 8-term MP and a Dalit MP, he should have been the Protem Speaker because he is 8-term MP. The term matters, and people selects you on your capabilities, and therefore it is a very unfortunate thing that the Parliamentary Affairs Minister has gone the first step as a mistake, and he has gone has decided these kind of decisions without any consultation with the opposition party.
All right. So, of course, viewers, there you heard it. Meanwhile, joining us at this point of time is Ms. Raj Lakshmi Joshi, political analyst. We're also being joined by Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, political analyst. And also with us on the broadcast is Mr. Alok Mehta, senior journalist. Very good morning to all of you, and thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to us on NewsX. I'm going to start this conversation by roping in Mr. Alok Mehta into the broadcast. And, as far as this Protem Speaker row is concerned, how do you view the situation as it pans out? Of course, there being statements being made by K. Suresh insinuating that he is an 8-time MP and therefore it is a sort of disrespecting the opposition. How do you view these developments as they take place?
Actually, it's a very unfortunate that the democracy, when the new parliament is there, Lok Sabha elections, and afterwards the opposition is trying to, like in Hindi we say, "Pehli grass mein makhi or makhi giri," and in a first code, you are having this kind of disruption. You see, Protem Speaker, just now the minister also mentioned, it's just to give the oath. This is not a permanent post at the time. Afterwards, maybe he will be speaker or anybody who will be speaker from majority. That's why I feel that this kind of attitude by the opposition, and Mr. Rijiju met, yesterday also he met all opposition leaders, earlier also he met different leaders. That's why I feel these kind of opposition, it shows that they don't want to accept the realities that the majority have the NDA. What they call an India alliance, same thing with the NDA. If they have the alliance and they have the majority around 300, 295, and the independent also supporting them, then that's why at least, but it is not even the government transaction. It's just for the speaker election. I feel very sad about it because all over the world, people looking for an Indian parliament now, good opposition is there. That's why I always respect the opposition role. But opposition role should be more democratic and respect the parliamentary system. Mr. Advani, LK Advani, I was just referring, he was more senior, but earlier time, some other person was the Protem speaker. So it's a tradition in the Dalit. You know, for a speaker or presidentship or prime ministership, you call like on the basis of the caste. This type of shameful for the leaders from Congress party and others who are talking in such a manner. Because we are talking the temple of the democracy, the Lok Sabha and Parliament is a temple. What kind of abuse you give to the post of this type of speaker and who is going to give oath to everybody. Now they are boycotting from the very beginning. It shows that they are not ready to accept and they will disturb the parliament and it will be very damaging for the voters because you know the voters feel that you go and work. But from the first day, यज्ञ शुरू होने से पहले आपने उसमें जाकर के जैसे कहते ना जो पुराने राक्षस होते थे वो ये करते थे कि कोई बहुत पवित्र यज्ञ हो रहा है तो जाकर कैसे डिस्टर्ब करना चाहिए तूफान ला दो वहां झगड़ा पैदा कर दो आई थिंक दिस काइंड ऑफ that's why I'm using Hindi words that these type of work they should not do but I respect parliamentarians but they should also learn from earlier and Bhartari just one line Bhartari because the Odisha name but Bhartari was the Raja more than the Chanakya and he was the Bhartari Shatak Bhartari that's why on the name also they should respect from Indian tradition culture Bhartari was a king and also the philosopher Bhartari Shatak is like a Chanakya Niti. So they should respect the person, and he is also senior. He is from Odisha and chose by the President of India. This is not the selection of the party because the President appoint him. That's why we have seen the oath ceremony too.
Right, so absolutely. And in fact, I also like to rope in Mr. Himanshu Bhatt into the broadcast. And sir, you know, of course, we've heard what Union Minister Kiran Rijiju had to say. He said that this is the first time that such a situation has arisen where, you know, of course, Protem speaker taking oaths is being politicized. How does then as a viewer and as a part of this country, what is the sentiment going to be like? How is it going to then be translated?
See, I'll use a Sanskrit phrase, Pratham Grase Makshika. And that is what I expected. It has happened. It has happened. And mind you, now this is going to be the order of the day for the entire session.
Yeah.
Whatever government does, opposition will oppose it. They'll find some reason or other. They'll find otherwise, you know, simply they'll just walk out. They'll say ho-ha and walk out. This is what is going to happen. And that has started from the Protem speaker. Now that doesn't augur well and that doesn't go well with the Indian public as common voter like me who is watching this knows what the verdict he has given. See, the voter of India is very, very smart. He has given a smart verdict, if we say, and then opposition not respecting the verdict and not letting the ruling party do the job. What message does it send? What message does it send to the entire world who considers Bharat to be one of the biggest democracies? And a practical democracy where people from 30 countries came down and saw how the elections are conducted. 97 crore electorates. What are we talking about? And here, some Tom, Dick and Harry, I'll use this word, some Tom, Dick and Harry wants to come up and disturb the house right from the first day. But will it happen? Now see, the government also has to be very, very assertive this time because they do have the majority. Just keep on saying that it's become a minority government. It is not a minority government. Mind you, you people have not crossed the mark of 100. The principal opposition today, which is Congress, has got just 99 seats. And if you put 3 elections together of Lok Sabha, still they have not crossed 200. How can you say that the ruling party is a minority government? They have the support of 295 MPs. With 240, they have not seen 240. The number of 240 is too big for them. And that's why they want to disrupt. On every possible chance, opposition will try to disrupt. We expect in a democracy opposition to play a constructive role. They should have a shadow cabinet of their own and come out with the comments and come out with their ideas on the government decisions. But here, forget about that. They want to disrupt in everything. Right from the time, giving oath, administering oath to the elected people, they want to create a trouble. Now, what do you say? And traditions. What are we talking about? From 1947, single party has been ruling the government for 60, 70 years, and what they did became a tradition. And now they want to play on it. That party doesn't even have 100 MPs today. And still, they want to dictate terms to the government that is a support of 295. Now, that goes on more, and that will reflect much more on the evil intents of the opposition and nothing else. This will all go on till 26, Once the speaker is appointed, they want X, Y, Z. They have been trying to create fissures in the NDA alliance, which is not going to happen. And once BJP speaker is, administered the oath of office, made BJP speaker is elected, and then you will see the government assertively moving, because the full budget has to come in this session. Nirmala Sitharaman is going to come out with some very, very drastic changes. That is what I expect. And from 1st of July, we are going to have our Nyaya Samhita being implemented.
Right, so absolutely. In fact, with us on the broadcast is also Ms. Raj Lakshmi Joshi, and I'm going to take from what Mr. Himanshu Bhatt has said. Of course, the full budget has to be rolled out, and with the situation as it prevails right now, there are important bills that are, of course, to be presented. Does it then, are such important situations, important bills then being shoved into a corner, are being diverted, and then politics is sort of taking the center stage? Is that what's happening right now?
A very good morning. Yes, that is exactly what is happening. Even in the previous terms also we have seen how, even with that minuscule number also, the Congress and the opposition parties, they actually succeeded in creating quite a ruckus, and they used to oppose every and any bill that was happening. In fact, they used to not allow any proceedings of the parliament. So all of that was happening even in the last terms, so that is also there. So now this time, right from the start, this I think this is a very bad start actually, if you look at it from the point of view of the opposition, that actually they could have with an increased number, they could have looked at it a little more positively, constructively, and looked into the bills that were happening. Instead, there are all these talks about all these kind of controversies about the Protem speaker. See, Protem speaker is just a convention. So even the Supreme Court has said in 2018 that it is just a convention and it is not, there is no rule as such about it. And in the past, the Congress has also ignored all these kind of so-called conventions that they are talking about now. The problem with the Congress is that they remember all of these things when they are in the opposition, not when they are in power. So when they are in power, they do something else, and then they expect the others to follow those conventions when the Congress is in opposition. So that is a kind of a behavior. In 2004, they appointed Bala Saheb, Vikhe Patil as the Protem speaker, and ignoring the fact that George Fernandez, he was the senior-most MP at that time. So at that time, they did not remember, all these kind of conventions. So this is something that, very conveniently, they come up with all kinds of arguments, and instead of actually proactively debating on the bills that are coming up, which are very important. If you look at it, most of the bills, see the BJP will not have an issue passing these bills because again they have the majority. They have the majority in Lok Sabha, considering the fact that now they are, I think, little more than 300 in number, along with all the allies. And even in the Rajya Sabha, they should not have an issue with passing the bills. But then, as a democracy, we need to have very constructive debates in Parliament, which was sadly lacking in the last terms also. And we have seen that, just before the Parliament session starts, there is some controversy or the other that comes up, and the Congress and the opposition, they create a whole ruckus around it. They cannot have a normal debate. So that is a problem with this opposition. They could have looked at it in a positive way, in how a democracy should be functioning. Even if they really wanted to give such an honorable post to Mr. K. Suresh, they could have made him the leader of opposition, but they didn't even think about his name at that time. And it only came up when there was this thing about the Protem speaker, and when the BJP looked at Mr. Matab as the Protem speaker. So at that time, they came up with the name of K. Suresh. They did not think about him when there was this talk of the leader of opposition. So at that time, they were only looking at Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who is looking at it so hesitatingly because it comes with some kind of responsibilities. All these positions, they come with responsibilities, obviously. So, this is something that very clearly the people actually can see, that this is not a very constructive opposition, but it is opposing the ruling party just for the sake of opposing it. So I think that at some point the opposition should learn from what was happening in the last couple of terms, and they should understand that all of us will be the losers if we are not able to debate the fine points of every bill that is coming up, which is very important.
Right.
So I think that maybe at least now they should mend their ways.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.